Let there be light. Welcome, brothers and sisters, my fellow citizens of the Republic of Zambia, to today's talk on the Light of Zambia channel. I'm your usual host, Proculious Mwape, Light of Zambia President. So, before I go into the topic of discussion for today, let me start by welcoming my brothers and sisters who have made it to join the Light of Zambia movement. To you who have come on board to be part of the Light of Zambia movement, I'm saying you are welcome, and you people are champions. You are victors already. Why do I say so? Of course, because you have understood that our poverty has everything to do with the model of governance that we are using, and therefore you decided to take your stance with a team that is seeking to introduce a new system of governance in our country. So your decision is very important, and I encourage every other Zambian to make this very important decision of joining the Light of Zambia movement. We have experimented with democracy, representative democracy, for over 50 years, 60 years now, and we haven't seen any good fruits coming out of it. So there is no hope that at some point we are going to get some good fruits from representative democracy that we are using. That said, I now can introduce the subject or the topic that I would like to discuss today. I would like to show you some similarities between these two countries that I've picked. One is the United Arab Emirates, which is found in the continent of Asia, near to a country called Oman, and Saudi Arabia, and Iran on the other side of the sea, the Persian Gulf. So that is where you can find United Arab Emirates, or UAE for short. So why have I picked this particular country? And of course I'm comparing it with our country Zambia. So why have I picked this particular country? The reason why I've picked this particular country is because it has a lot of similarities with our country here in Zambia. So let us start by looking at these similarities and see how we compare, and which country is doing better than the other. So the United Arab Emirates was a colony of the United Kingdom, just like Zambia was a colony of the United Kingdom. The Zambia got its independence from the United Kingdom in the year 1964. We all know that as Zambians, October 24th of 1964, we got our independence. Whilst on the other hand, the United Arab Emirates got its independence from the United Kingdom in the year 1971. So you can see Zambia is slightly older than the UAE as an independent state. So the other factor that I would like to consider as we compare is the natural resource endowments. So the United Arab Emirates holds the 7th largest oil reserves in the world. 7th largest oil reserves in the world. While Zambia has held a position of being the 7th largest producer of copper in the world. Of course, today we are holding the 10th position in the world, but that is still not a bad number, or a bad position to be on. So you can see we have all these similarities. We were both colonies of the United Kingdom, and we got our independence in 1964. They got their independence in 1971. They hold the 7th largest oil reserves in the world. We are the 7th or 10th largest producer of copper in the world. Now, these two commodities are super important and high on demand in the world. For example, we understand that almost every electric appliance or machine or vehicle depends on copper components, be it wires, washers, and all these other components that part of those electrical appliances. So is oil. Oil is required for to produce petrol, to produce diesel and many other oil products. So we are both holding a very important natural resource that the world very much wants. Now let us look at the performance of the economies of these two countries. The UAE, United Arab Emirates, it is a place commonly known as Dubai to those of you that don't know UAE. Dubai is a city in the UAE. So UAE has a GDP, gross domestic product per capita, of 77,000 US dollars per annum. That means every citizen of the UAE generates goods and services worth 77,000 US dollars per annum or per year. How about a citizen of Zambia? How much does he or she generate? So the citizen of Zambia generates only 4,000 US dollars per year. Now look at the difference. Look at how big the difference is. We can't even claim to be number 2, number 3, we are far away from 77,000 US dollars. So technically speaking, a citizen of Zambia, an average citizen of Zambia, is just like a servant of an average citizen of the UAE. Look at that. Now others would argue to say the UAE has oil as its main product. The UAE has oil and Zambia has copper. Copper is cheaper than oil on the global market. Wow, that makes some sense. But of course, we understand that Zambia has much more natural resource endowment. For example, we have emeralds here, which the UAE don't have. We have cobalt, we have nickel, we have gold, plus many more like sugilite, many more natural resources. And yet the UAE is only depending on oil and natural gas. So look at that. We have more natural resources here. If we put the value of all these natural resources I've talked about, plus many more that I've not even talked about here, surely we are competing, or if anything, we're even beating the value of the oil that UAE has. And on top of that, we shouldn't forget that Zambia, geographically speaking, holds a bigger landmass than that of the UAE. So we have an advantage on that one also. But how is it that we are a poor nation? We are way, way too poor than the United Arab Emirates. So the reason lies in the model of governance. That's according to my findings. The reason lies in the model of governance that the UAE uses and that Zambia uses. The UAE, right in the year 1971, they decided to put together all the 7 emirates or 7 chiefdoms. Remember, the UAE is ruled by traditional leaders. So these chiefdoms came together, formulated what we can call today the United Arab Emirates as a country. That's why today as we speak, the UAE is a monarchy. It's not a democracy. But Zambia, on the other hand, settled for a democracy right in the year 1964. We were in multi-party participatory democracy. From 1964, 1968 election, it was still multi-party participatory democracy. Until 1973, that's when we changed to one-party participatory democracy. So, let me talk about the UAE again. When they formulated their kingdom, they also formulated a state-owned enterprise called Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. It is this company that was charged, and that is charged even today as we speak, with the responsibility of exploring oil, production of oil, refining of oil, and marketing of oil. So this particular company employs a lot of people in that country and generates a lot of wealth for the nation. While on the other hand, Zambia, after getting our independence, we kept the natural resource in the hands of foreigners until somewhere around the 1973. That's when the program of nationalization started to take fruit. And it only took fruit for a short period of time, such that in the year 1990, 1991, thereabouts, again privatization program came in, selling back the mines that we got, which we rightfully got to ourselves. We sold them back to foreigners. And today we are struggling as if we do not have any natural resource. And yet we have plenty of natural resources in our country. So the only reason why we are poor is because we are using a wrong system of governance, representative democracy. The UAE is that rich because they've used a monarch system of governance. They are a kingdom. That's why we are saying introduce Ubuntu model of governance, which is going to turn Zambia into a monarchy. Because I understand that it's only under a monarch that's when you can have a state-owned enterprise perform well. When you try to nationalize natural resources, like in the current situation in which we are today, under a representative type of democracy, I can assure you that again we are going to maybe just move 3 steps forward. Whoever is going to come after the one who is going to nationalize these natural resources is going to take us back 5 steps backwards. Like it happened during the KK time and the Chiluba time. So to avoid that, if truly we want to see development taking place in our country, we have to introduce Ubuntu model of governance. It has a lot more advantages than using democracy. Number one, because Ubuntu model of governance is talking about giving power back to traditional leaders, chiefs. These are the people that were our leaders before colonizers came into our land. They were there, they are here, and will continue being with them, these traditional leaders. So as long as we are not bringing them to the fore, as long as we do not put them to be part of the inner circle of leadership, it means we are not serious with what we want. Remember, every tribe is headed by a chief. So as long as you're a Zambian, definitely you have a chief. And that particular chief is actually your leader. So brothers and sisters, let us make sure that we introduce a system of governance that is going to protect our interests, that is going to nationalize our natural resources, process our natural resources locally so that we create more jobs for the young people, and be able to market our goods, finished goods, so that we're able to rake in foreign exchange. Remember, the reason why we have all this inflation in our country is because we do not have finished products that are being exported, so that we're able to bring in forex. But once we are able to produce, we dig our copper, our nickel, our cobalt, our emeralds, process them locally. That means we are creating jobs here. And export finished products. That means we are selling value-added products. And that means they will get more benefit from such products and services. As long as we do not do that, we'll find it extremely difficult to develop. We'll find it extremely difficult for us to build roads, for us to build hospitals and schools, and stock these hospitals with drugs that they need. Every time when somebody is sick, especially these bigger politicians, you hear them know they are evacuated. Now, what about we, the poor, the common people? Are we going to be dying just like that simply because we do not have the capacity to be looked at as people that deserve to be evacuated to other countries for medical attention? Especially for we, the young people. Now is the time to wake up. The future is very bleak if we do not stand up. we have to make sure that we stand up and vote into power a government that is going to introduce Ubuntu model of governance. Once that is achieved, you can be assured that Zambia will be now heading to a different trajectory. We've lagged behind for quite too long. Remember, we started off at almost the same time with the UAE. But today the UAE is a city-state. Almost every place is more like you are in a city. But Zambia, to a large extent, is just a village. You see? So, there are those that are holding views, no, because we tried to nationalize and we failed. Therefore, we shouldn't even think of pursuing such a policy. I'm like, you are not serious, because that means we have to get to terms with our poverty. Because it will never go away. How else are we going to kick this poverty away if we do not nationalize our natural resources? So, today we have a lot of graduates. We have a lot of universities that are giving us these well-qualified engineers, mining engineers for that matter. We have a lot of colleges that are giving us skilled labor, craftsmen, who are able to do all sorts of things. Why should we still be failing to run our mines? So this is my call to you, my brothers and sisters. Come on board on the Light of Zambia movement. We are going to nationalize all natural resources. Once we nationalize, I can assure you that we'll be able to generate maximum benefits from our natural resources. Unlike what is happening today, every government that comes in thinks of going to borrow from the IMF. And yet trucks are always, on a daily basis, ferrying our copper out of our country. 32-ton trucks, they are ferrying our copper 24/7. To those of you that reside along the Great North Road, you can agree with me on that one. We see these trucks ferrying these copper cathodes. That is money being taken out, and jobs, for that matter. So, brothers and sisters, again, like I'm saying, let us work together. Let us make sure that this message goes everywhere. It reaches every corner of Zambia, so that we form that big group, a formidable group that will be able to produce a president. And once we have our own president with this philosophy, then we are going to introduce Ubuntu model of governance in Zambia. And only then will we be able to nationalize our natural resources and be able to manage them properly, because there will be no political interference. Remember, more of the reason why these parastatals or state-owned enterprises fail in democracies like this one here, it's more to do with political interference. A politician always wants to interfere in parastatals because they feel that's where they can get almost free money for their campaigns or anything to maintain their political status. So in a kingdom, you expect people to behave, you expect production to happen in a good way, just like it is with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has a company called Aramco, which is also charged with the responsibility of producing oil and refining oil. And it is so surprising to hear that this Aramco was actually a joint venture. It was created as a joint venture between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United States of America. Why can't we do the same? All we are saying is we should be holding majority of shares in these mining companies, so that we're able to man the operations of the companies, be the ones that are employing, be the ones that are making sure that production is happening, and the selling of our products that we'll be getting from these minerals. So brothers and sisters, it is not too late. We can change the situation for the better and make sure that we develop our country, Zambia, to a level that we would be happy with. Remember, our life expectancy is very low here in Zambia. When you compare it with other countries like the UAE or Norway, You hear that the life expectancy is about 83 years. That is the average number of years every person is supposed to live. But here in Zambia, it is about 60 years. And I think that even that 60 years is an overestimate. And do you know why our life expectancy is that low? It's all because of our poverty. Because when you are poor, even a very simple disease can take your life. But when you are rich, you are able to find the correct medication for your illness. So if you think this does not concern you, you have to think of your brother who is not managing, or your sister who is not managing to find medical care, or who is finding it hard to find medicine in these government hospitals. It is all our fault. If only we implemented a system of governance that is able to nationalize our natural resources and manage them properly, we shouldn't be struggling. And our life expectancy would definitely push up or go up. So brothers and sisters, I encourage you, come on board. Join the Light of Zambia movement. Let us preach this message everywhere across Zambia. Let every Zambian hear about it. So for now, let me end here, and I'm saying, let there be light.